All right, there you go. The thumbnail is still there, but we are here. My favorite two words of the week. Guess what, Jessica?
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend, kapamilya. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Off the Record with Migs.
And Cheska, and okay, at least that's Friday naman talaga, right? So,
Yeah.
totoo naman na happy weekend na after this episode because we have a lot to talk about when it comes to basketball in the
Okay.
Philippines.
Basketball, syempre, marami pong mga nangyari in the world of sports. Iba-iba yan. Football, volleyball, the PBL's ongoing, may
Mm-hmm.
PBA semifinals. Pero ngayon, medyo mas magiging pointed lang ang ating discussion because we will talk about basketball, Gilas Pilipinas, and the World University Basketball Series. We have our guest for tonight. Pero bago natin introduce ang ating guest, off the record sa on ABS-CBN Sports. And please do follow at ABS-CBN Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Napaaga po tayo tonight dahil quick lang ang ating discussion. Ang ating pong guest tonight is the Hoop Nuts. The Hoop Nut, veteran basketball analyst and blogger and all-around basketball guy, Enzo Flojo. What's up, Enzo?
Hey Mix, what's up? Hey Cheska, good to see you guys.
All
Excited.
Thank
right.
you so much for agreeing to guest on the show because when it comes to basketball knowledge, and especially with the Philippine teams, we have you to talk to. So
Yes. Thank you, Enzo, and for always being game and always, supporting ABS-CBN Sports and Kapamilya Network. Thank you so much, Enzo. Enzo, let's get right down to business. FIBA window up next. Ano ba ang mangyari? Saan ba ito magaganap? At meron tayong mga naririnig na mga breaking news na pwede maglaro para sa Gilas Pilipinas. Go ahead, Enzo.
Yes, Mix. No? So, by the end of the month, I think the first game of Gilas will be on August 25. It's going to be the fourth window na tinatawag natin of the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers, Mix and Chess. No? So, in this particular window, Gilas will be playing two games. So, they're going to play one road game. They're going to fly to Beirut and play Lebanon on their home court. And then I think 3 or 4 days after, they're gonna be flying home here to Manila, where we're gonna host Saudi Arabia naman. That's gonna be, I think, at the Mall of Asia Arena, if I'm not mistaken. So those are the two games that are gonna happen on August 25 against Lebanon and August 29 against Beirut. And like you said, Mix, no, we've been hearing ito pwede maglaro, ito pwede maglaro.
Mhm.
Jordan Clarkson, according to the SBP, according to Coach Trot himself, is going to be flying in very, very soon. And by very soon, I think in 1 or 2 weeks to train with the team and to eventually play with Gilas. No, unfortunately, he will be playing classified as a naturalized player. No? That means that he cannot play. Let's say we had a healthy Ange Kwame, they can't play together. He can't play alongside other Filipinos who are classified as naturalized players, like for example Stanley Pringle or Christian Stan Hardinger, yung mga ganyan. So Jordan Clarkson will play according to the SBP, but he will be, like I said, classified as a naturalized player. Pero I think I think kahapon lang it was confirmed, even the player himself confirmed, si Kai Soto,
Mhm.
that he'll be flying in also, no, to suit up for Gilas as well. So that means, if my math is correct, I think right now we have confirmed 9 players for the Gilas Pilipinas team for that window.
If I remember correctly, I think I just read this the other day. I think Jordan mentioned that he won't be available for so window 4 is what's coming up this month. And then I think
Yes,
he won't be available for windows 5 and 6. So this is November and February.
I think so. Yes, and the simple reason for that is because the NBA season is coming up already. So he's gonna play for the Utah Jazz unless he gets traded. So we'll see. But tingnan natin, di ba? But for now, he's still with Utah, and definitely he'll be prioritizing that, no, over any other basketball competition, understandably. So he'll be here with us. But this is also significant, no, because this will be the first time Jordan Clarkson will play in a FIBA tournament.
FIBA sanctioned
Mhm.
event.
Yes, exactly, Nick.
Yes.
So he played for us before in 2018 for the Asian Games, but the Asian Games is not an official FIBA organized or sanctioned tournament. No? So in that tournament, actually, he played with Stanley Pringle. He played with Christian Stan Hardinger, no? Which is something he cannot do in a FIBA tournament. It might be weird, but it's ano there are different eligibility guidelines kasi for those different competitions. That's a big reason why.
Alright, so mga kapamilya, kung meron po kayong mga katanungan para sa ating basketball analyst tonight, kung meron kayong mga ibang confusing details na gusto po ninyong itanong, kasi ako rin, medyo nalilito ako sa mga ibang detalye. Ito na po ang ating pagkakataon to clear it up with basketball analyst Enzo Flojo.
Yes.
Sorry, Cheska, meron akong follow-up?
Oh, no, so since we won't be seeing Jordan Clarkson, in November and February, what does this mean for Ange Kwame?
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be huge. I don't think we're gonna see Ancho also. Cheska, no? To be completely
Okay.
honest, because it's gonna be the UAP season. And that's gonna UAP I think will begin I think late September, parang ganun, and it's gonna end, no? The Final Four finals will probably end around November, maybe even December. Eh. So definitely, Ange will not be available for Gilas. So I don't think the UAAP will allot any windows for to accommodate the FIBA games. No? So that actually is going to be a bit of a challenge for the SBP. I know that many fans want the SBP to think long term, and I'm sure they are trying to. But after this coming window, medyo pahirapan yung availability ng players because again, Clarkson's gonna be in the NBA. The UAAP players for sure are crossed out already. So baka sila Tamayo, yan, hindi pwede. I'm not sure if the PBA will have another conference. I think they will, no? Parang yung I think maybe the Commissioner's Cup I think will be starting, no? So that's a big question mark also for the PBA. Because as far as I know, they committed to adjusting their calendar next year for the World Cup. So I'm not sure about this year. The only players I think that might be available, weirdly enough, are those playing abroad, no? In Japan, in Korea, because those leagues are going to have windows for the FIBA windows also. So baka sila 30 might be available, baka sila SJ actually might be available. Pero ayan, si Kai definitely I don't think will be available, even Ange, no? So that's gonna be a big puzzle again for the SBP moving forward.
Okay, so itong katanungan ko, Enzo, dahil nga sa 2023, Philippines, Indonesia, and Japan will co-host the World Cup. But in July, Indonesia failed to win its matches to be able to qualify. Pero 'di ba, kapag host ka, parang meron ka ng slot. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Tsaka anong pagkakaiba nun?
Okay. Well, the simplest way to explain it, Mix, is FIBA wanted Indonesia to kind of prove that they deserve to play at the World Cup level. For the simple reason that they're ranked so low na it would be kind of weird to have a team that's ranked really, really low play at the World Cup level. So,
Kasi parang tatambakan lang sila kung
yeah,
gano'n.
yeah,
If
yeah.
they
I mean,
cannot prove.
yes, yes. And
Yeah.
it might not even help their program kasi lalong mamagnify yung difference in skill and talent level and stuff like that. In fairness to Indonesia, they improved their program under Coach Raiko Turman. Unfortunately, he's not there anymore. No? He was booted out of the Indonesian program. But under his watch, over the past 2 years, they actually improved, no? Culminating in the very, very painful for us loss, no? In
Sa SEA
the
Games.
in the SEA Games gold medal match, diba? That's a sign that Indonesia has really made strides. Unfortunately, at the Asian level, talagang not enough, no? Not enough for them to make. They were supposed to make it if they made it to the top 8 of the latest FIBA Asia Cup, which finished last month, no? Kung nag-top 8 sila, yun sana yung magic ticket nila for the World Cup. But it did not happen. So ang gagawin ng Indonesia ngayon, they're really just gonna be hosting the games next year. I think they're gonna be hosting, kasi ano yan, mix eh. They're gonna be 8 groups of 4 teams each. I think Indonesia will be hosting 2 groups, so that's 8 teams. Ang kagandahan naman for Indonesia, they're going to have world-class basketball players in their country, playing in front of their fans. So hopefully that will, promote the sport in a big way. Pero yun nga lang, their own national team will not be participating.
Gano'n pala
Oh,
'yun kasi oo, 'di ba, parang all the while
okay.
parang assured slot ka pa pero hindi pala.
Yeah, yeah.
O Cheska, may tanong ako sa'yo. Nag-bat si Enzo, eh.
Oo nga eh.
8 groups of 4, so 32 teams.
Okay, wait. Hold on.
Wait lang, wait lang, wait lang. Sorry. Kaya ko tinanong 'yun, Enzo, kaya ko tinanong 'yun kasi will the Philippines have the same possible fate if they don't get to win their matches and qualify?
Ah, well, fortunate. Well, depends on how you look at it, mix. But the short answer is we're going to be playing at the World Cup. We're in. No? Our
Okay,
ranking in our FIBA World Ranking is high enough. Same with Japan. Theirs is high enough also for us to
okay.
automatically get a slot as hosts. No? So
Right.
parang okay na. Parang we're gonna make it and we're gonna play at the World Cup next year. No? So
Parang may
that's
threshold pala yon, Enzo. More or less, if you're ranked at this, you're good, but you're here, but you ganyan, so sorry, parang ganon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this
Yeah.
is based on my recollection. This is the first time that a host will not play at the World Cup. Again,
Oh,
Oh.
because
unprecedented.
yeah, because sobrang baba kasi ng ranking ng Indonesia. Pero they were given a chance. It's just that they didn't make it. So sayang. But tayo, fortunately, no matter how well or how poorly we play in the coming windows, no, because it can go sideways. We're gonna be there next year. We're gonna play at the World Cup.
Okay.
We last saw Gilas Pilipinas in the World Cup back in 2014 in Spain. And obviously now we're adding the names. We lost the likes of Andre Blach, Jimmy Alapag, Mark Pingris. I mean, completely different squad. And now we have names like Jordan Clarkson and Kai Soto coming in. Can you just talk about the growth of Philippine basketball, or how we got from that squad in Spain to who we have now, what happened in between the movements, and what it's looking like for Gilas Pilipinas?
Oh my gosh. I could talk all night, Chess, with that kind of question.
Marami. Dapat ata may beer tayo
Go,
dito, Enzo,
go
eh,
right
no?
ahead.
Oo nga, eh.
May ref lang ako dito. Pwede ko na kunin. Uh, Actually, we were at the World Cup in 2019, but
Ay, ah,
but
but
that was a forgettable World Cup because we placed dead last in that World Cup. So I'd rather actually forget about that and not talk about that, and I'll just talk about the 2014 one because I mean, if I'm being completely honest, no, that 2014 World Cup was very special because it was the first time we made it back to the world stage since 1974. Parang ganun eh. So it was such a long time ago, no, that we played at the World Cup level. I remember in 2013 when we beat Korea in the Mall of Asia Arena. I was watching live. Grown men all around me crying like kids because oh my God, we're gonna be the World Cup.
yeah.
So that was special, and that was a special team because it embodied puso. I mean, back in that in that time, that was really our battle cry, and it encapsulated everything we were about. Parang bala na sa puso, and we almost beat the likes of Croatia,
Mhm.
Argentina. We beat Senegal
Right.
in our group, no. So that was a special World Cup, to be honest. And credit to every single member of that team. Credit to head coach Chot Reyes, who formed that team, no.
Mhm.
Credit to the guy you mentioned, Jessica, si Andre Blatch, no.
Yes.
It was really, I mean, it was a watershed moment for Philippine basketball. It put us back on the map. It opened the doors for us. I think the hosting the 2023 World Cup, because if we hadn't made it to the 2014 World Cup, I don't think FIBA would have entertained even a bid from us to bid to host for the World Cup. So that opened so many doors for us, and eventually it led to good performances. We placed second in the 2015 Asia Cup, no, under Coach Tab Baldwin. We played in the Olympic qualifiers in 2016. So it set the ball rolling in a good direction. It's just that, and this is something I could talk about all night. No? Parang in Philippine basketball kasi para tayong ano, parang gulong, yung
Mhm.
parang
Yeah.
parang umiikot lang eh. Parang we're gonna be really really good for a few years, and then for some reason we're going to kind of mess things up and
May
fall.
kanta yan, Enzo.
Yeah.
May soundtrack
But,
yan. 'Di ba?
'di ba? Yeah. Pero kaya nga nila sinasabi bilog ang bola, 'di ba?
Sorry, Ed, 'di ba? We were talking about soundtracks a while ago before we started. That's why I put that line in. Anyway, sorry guys. Sorry, I
Yeah.
cut you off, Enzo. Anyway, it's like a wheel. Go ahead, Enzo. My bad.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's like a wheel, no? We do well. We make the World Cup. We play second in FIBA Asia. Our youth teams do well, and then before we know it, in 2019, we finished dead last at the World Cup again in China, and everything's a mess. And then last year, we beat Korea twice. Ganda na naman
Mhm.
ng trajectory. Then all of a sudden, we lose to Indonesia in the SEA Games. We place, I think, ninth or 10th in the recent FIBA Asia Cup.
Yeah.
So it's really a vicious cycle, a vicious wheel for the Philippines. No? And you kind of get why some fans right now are parang passionately on one side and passionately on the other side. And because parang they're parang roller coaster eh. Yung parang the heights of ecstasy and then the lows of desperation and exasperation and disappointment. So
Yeah.
in the coming window, I don't know what to expect, to be honest. It's gonna
Yeah.
be tough to call.
Okay, I'm just
Magdi-disclaimer
gonna
lang ako,
yeah.
mali yung wording ko sa question ha. Yung the last time we saw the last squad that we saw in Spain was sila.
Okay.
Anyway,
Last live edit. Ito may
mahirap na
babas
eh.
may babasahin lang akong ano, I don't know if this is a rhetorical question, pero shout out sa iyo, Reggie Romeo. Will Coach Shot be able to coach the team sa fourth window? Parang busy pa siya sa PBA. He might
Oh my
even make it to
god.
the
Yeah.
finals.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, TNT lead series
Eh, kasi
3-2.
That's right.
there is like there is a chance to magpa-finals. So,
Oh, malaking
there's
chance.
a huge chance.
Yeah, there's a huge chance. There's a huge chance.
That's
Ito,
right.
Enzo, ang tatanong ko, you mentioned briefly about the fans, etc. Pero ito muna tatanungin ko kasi yung naging consistent sa mga windows are the young guns. Gilas 1.0-esque, right? When you talk about the Ravenas,
1.0
the Ravenas,
esque.
yeah, the young guns SJ Belanghel, Carl Tamayo,
Yeah.
sino pa, etc. Do you think this is the core of the future?
In a
Will
word,
this be sustained? Yun
Oh.
pala.
okay, tingnan
Yun pala. Sorry.
questions.
Two different questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. First question: the young talents we're seeing now, is this something are these the same faces we'll probably see in the years to come? I think so. I mean, not completely all of them, obviously, no. But when you talk about 30, for example, si Kiefer kasi, well, Kiefer actually pwede pa kasi he's in his prime. Eh. He's 29 years old, so pwede pa, di ba? So Kiefer definitely 30. Surely Dwight Ramos, SJ Belangel, Will Navarro, RJ Abarrón.
Wow.
Of course, Kai Soto's going to be there. Eventually, I'm hoping AJ Edu will come back and play for us also. So these guys, and maybe some of the guys who are still in college, like Gio Chu, Carl Tamayo, no? Justin Baltazar, I think yes. I think I'm very confident when I say that they will be uh, part of that core pool for our Gilas team. Definitely for the World Cup next year, and probably for the tournaments after that, whatever those are. Because next year you have the World Cup and the Asian Games, no, in China. So parehong paghahandaan yun ng Gilas, no. But yes, no, the simple answer makes is yes. I expect that will be the core. Eventually, syempre, magkakaroon ng Francis Lopez yan. Ewan ko kung magkakaroon ng panibagong naturalized player, kung si Ange ba, or si Clarkson, or someone else who's gonna come in to be the naturalized player. But I expect that around, the core, maybe 8 guys will come from that generation, no, of players moving forward, at least for the next maybe 4 or 5 years, no, of the Gilas cycle, so to speak. Now, your second question, which is a very interesting question: can the program be sustained? And I think everyone wants to answer yes to that. No? Whether it's a fan, it's a coach, whether it's Sir Al Panlilio or whoever, no, they want a sustainable program. But for that to happen, that program has to be cultivated by a sensible structure or system. And if I'm being completely objective and honest, we don't have that yet, no, in the Philippines.
Okay.
Siguro that's one of the heartbreaks or disappointments that I have. Na parang even after we've made it to the World Cup two times over the past 10 years, it still hasn't helped push or evolve our whole basketball ecosystem to really be sensible. What do I mean by sensible? Yung tipong it all fits in the schedule of the international calendar. Walang conflict yung availability of players with Gilas. Um, we have a sensible grassroots program from under 15 up until under 19, yung mga ganyan. Right now, we don't see that yet. No? We have a lot of small initiatives left and right and center, but to bring them all together, parang wala pa. But hopefully, the World Cup next year when we host it, I'm hoping that will finally be the catalyst, no? To make everyone realize we have to have a sensible, streamlined structure of basketball from grassroots up until the national level in the Philippines.
Marami ako sana follow-up question dun sa sensible, streamlined. Pero magta-transition na tayo sa World University
Yes.
Basketball Series,
That
Jessica.
I feel like that discussion should be a lengthier
Tsaka
moment and
off the record and off the record.
like legit off the record or
Off the record. Hindi, kasi may kailangan gawin si Enzo. So, World
Yes.
University Basketball Series tayo.
very
Yan.
quick. I mean, we had Ateneo, the Ateneo Blue Eagles winning, being the first winners of the World University Basketball Series. This was in Japan. Enzo, quick summary, quick analysis on what the Blue Eagles were able to do.
Well, the Blue Eagles swept the entire tournament. They played against three of the top collegiate teams in the region. By region, I mean East Asia and Southeast Asia. So they beat the Universitas Pelita Harapan, if I'm saying correctly, from Indonesia by 86 points in the first game. Then they had to rally in the second game against National Chongqing University, the champion team from Chinese Taipei, from Taiwan. And lastly, last night, no, they defeated one of the top teams from Japan, Tokai University, the Seagulls. So they swept the tournament. They became, like you said, Cheska, the inaugural WUBS champions. No? And this is a tournament that it started this year, but they're hoping it'll be bigger next year and for the years to come. Para tong magiging parang Jones Cup for
Yun.
universities in Asia, something like that. And it's good that Ateneo won the championship. It's a build up. They're using it as a build up for their UAAP season 85. It's not the only thing they're gonna do. As far as I know, they're gonna fly. I think to a Middle Eastern country pa, and I think to a European country for their added build up, no, for UAP season 85. So it's good for Ateneo. I mean, good for them. Good confidence boost. I was excited to see some of the new faces, no, Kai Balungay, Paul Garcia, Andrew Bongo, yung mga ganyang pangalan, no? Because those are the same faces that the UAAP fans are kind of parang kating-kati na makita. Sino ba itong mga to? Parang ganyan. So we got a glimpse of who they are and how they play in the tournament. So good for Ateneo that they won that the tournament. But I'm sure Coach Tab is telling his players, okay, good, we won, feels good, ramen was good in Japan, all tastes good, all feels good. But the bigger I mean, knowing Coach Tab, ang number one objective niya is the UAAP pa rin. So if I ask him tonight, Tab, Coach Tab, are you happy? I'm sure he's gonna say nope.
Yeah. He's gonna be like, what do you mean? Job's not done, di ba?
Exactly. Exactly. You can almost hear him in your head mix, diba? No,
Yeah.
we're not happy because we're here to win the UAAP. So there.
Yeah. And I can imagine Coach Shab's like, ano ba klaseng tanong yan in English, di ba? So yeah, we know Coach Tab. He's a character, and at the same time, he's a great basketball mind. Just one last question. You mentioned it a while ago, Enzo, about the Jones Cup. Kasi, di ba, a few years ago when Matt Nieto made that winning shot, and then parang yung Jones Cup was like a big tournament, but that like propelled them to like nanalo sila ng Jones Cup, so unlock sila sa UAAP. eventually nag-champion sila. So do you think we'll see more of tournaments like that for Ateneo? You mentioned briefly some, but will there be like that?
Well, we'll see. I'm sure that whatever tournament they enter, they're gonna try to win
Yeah.
in these tournaments. So I'm sure they're gonna pull out all the stops and still try to bring home as many victories and trophies as they can. Will this win lead to another title in the UAAP? Honestly, it's gonna be tough. If I were gonna make some power rankings right now, honestly, UP pa rin ang number one ko. I mean, they're
Mm.
intact, they're healthy, they have their own tune-up games in Korea actually, so they're building up really well also. And then number two ko might be either Ateneo or LaSalle actually mix because I love what LaSalle is doing. Kevin Cambao is gonna be, oh my god, so good for that team, and it's just very exciting times right now for college basketball.
All
All right.
right. All right. 10 bits, bitin. Pero just gotta keep it here. Just gotta keep it
Yes.
here. All right. Thank you so
We will
much.
definitely have Enzo back on the show again. Incredible information, incredible insights. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Off the Record, Enzo.
Thank
Take
you,
care,
Chess.
Enzo. Thanks,
Good
bud.
talking to you guys. Bye.
Bye. All right. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank
Okay.
you. Enzo Flo, thank you so much as always. Reliable, maasahan pagdating sa basketball analysis. Thank you, bud. Stay safe and God bless. All right. So again, Kapamilya, happy weekend. So for all of your sports habits, please do follow at ABS-CBN Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And Tuesdays and Fridays po ang Off the Record with Migs and Jessica.
All
Okay.
right. Ito na,
All
totoo
right.
na. Happy
All right.
weekend!
Happy weekend. Happy weekend. Thank you so much, guys. There you have it. This has been Off the Record with Migs.
And Cheska, and we will see you guys in the next
Next
episode.
episode. Bye, guys.
Bye!
Bye.